Can't stop, won't stop, get guap. 10 white toes and them toy flip-flops. Manicures and pedicures, I'm always tip-top. When they say I'm not hot, all these lies need to stop.
What's up guys, it's me. I'm back with another video. This one's going to be, as you can probably tell by the title, all of my college stuff. So I thought this would be a really good video to make because when I was applying to colleges, I saw loads of decision videos, but a lot of them just showed their reaction to the decisions, but not what their test scores were, which is kind of what I was looking for, with my scores, what can I get into? So what I'm going to do today is read out my scores, my predicted grades, which unis I applied to, which ones I got into, the reasons, the scholarships, all of that. I can also do a separate video talking about, or maybe reading out some of my essays, my extracurriculars, because that stuff also helps with the application. But yeah, it helps quite a lot with your application, especially in the US. But it's going to be too long to all include in this video because I can't read out, I wrote over 10 essays, so I can't read all them out right now. So I have my laptop here. I'm just going to be reading out all my scores and everything. So this is the first portion of the video. This is all my scores. So to start with, I'll just tell you which tests I did. So if you don't know, for the US, there's standardized testing. So you can do the SAT or the ACT. They're both kind of regarded the same, but some people prefer the SAT, some people prefer the ACT. The ACT is more fast-paced with slightly easier questions, but you just have to answer them quicker, and the SAT has slightly harder questions, but you have more time to answer them. And personally, I prefer the fast-paced, easier questions because I'm a really fast worker. So I did a diagnostic test where it was basically half SAT, half ACT, and it would tell you which one you were better at, and I got better at ACT. So that's what I decided to do. I took the PSAT actually. That's the preliminary SAT for when you're not actually a junior yet. So when you're a freshman and a sophomore, you can take the PSAT. So I took the PSAT twice, and I got decent scores. And then I took the ACT. So I'll read you my ACT scores right now. This was the best score I got. I only took it once, which is kind of unusual. Most people take it at least 2 times, but I was really happy with my first score, so I just left it at that. So overall, I got a 31, which is I think the 96th or 97th percentile, which means I'm smarter than 97% of people who take the SAT or the ACT. So I was really proud with that. I'll just break it down. So they have English, math, reading, and science. For English, I got 33 out of, this is all out of 36, by the way. For English, I got 33 out of 36. For maths, I got 30 out of 36. For reading, I got 33 out of 36, and then for science, I got 28 out of 36. And I think the reason my science dropped is because it's a 3 or 4 hour exam, and science is at the end. So by the time you get to the science section, you're tired as fuck, you just don't want to do it. And anyway, my English is stronger than my maths and science, so I did better on those sections. So I thought there was no point in taking it again, because optimistically, I was looking at 31. So by getting the 31, I think I solidified my score. And I don't think I could improve on any of the categories except for possibly science, but only if it was at the beginning of the section. And some of the universities I applied to do superscore. So what superscoring is if you do the test multiple times, they'll take all your best scores and compile them into one score, and that's your composite score. So then it's an advantage to take the test a couple times, maybe focus on the first half the first time and the second half the second time. But some universities require you to send both your scores and they consider both of them without superscoring. So that's a downside. So I was very happy with my 31. I didn't want to do it again. However, I did want to take the SAT just in case. So I took the SAT and I think I got a 1380 or something. It wasn't, or 1320. It wasn't as good as if I convert my ACT score, it's a 1450, which is a lot better than what I got my SAT. So I just decided to stick with my ACT score and submit that one to all the colleges that asked. So that was my scores. That's mainly all the schools ask for your ACT or SAT scores. I also did the paper with writing, and I think it's out of I forgot what it's out of, but I think I got either a 6 or a 7. They mainly grade those in the middle. So if you have a average introduction, they probably won't read the rest and just give you a grade in the middle. And that one doesn't matter that much. It's just to show the universities that you can speak English properly, because a lot of people get someone else to write their essays. So they need to make sure that the person writing the ACT essay also writes their college essays, so they can tell it's the same person. You haven't paid someone to write it for you. Okay, I'm now going to read out all my grades from my GCSE predicted grades, my actual GCSE grades, my IB, my current attainment at year 12, and my predicted grades for year 13. So I'll put my laptop closer so I can see them better. Okay, so in year 10, when I first started my GCSEs, I had just general English, I was getting a B. Maths, I was getting an A. I take double award science, so that means you do all 3 sciences, and they give you just 2 grades for all 3 of them, and you get 2 GCSEs for it. So I was on a BB. For art and design, I was at an A. For economics, I was at an A. And for geography, I was an A star, and finally Spanish, I had a B. So by the end of my GCSEs, I got my grades up quite a bit. So the English was split into world literature and English language, so I get 2 GCSEs for that. And I got A's in both, so A in English language, A in English literature. Mathematics, I got an A star. And for my double science, I got an A and A star. And then my art, I got a B because I fucking suck at art. And then economics, I don't know why they graded everyone's paper like this. You can see I was predicted an A in economics and I got put down to a C because everyone in the grade got messed up. People who were predicted like B's and C's went down to E's and F's. Like the whole grade just shifted down for no reason. But I didn't want to retake the exam because it wasn't that important. So I got a C in economics and then a B in A in geography and an A in Spanish. So I only got, it's mostly A's and A stars, 1 B, 1 C. Those are my GCSE grades. Some of my universities asked me to submit my full transcript with all the GCSE grades. Some of them just asked for my IB predicted grades. So I'll start with my IB grades now. These were my year 12 current attainments. So I take economics, geography, and physics at higher level. I got a 5 in all of them. So my current attainment was a 5 in geography, economics, and physics. My standard level classes are English language and literature, maths, just standard level maths, and Spanish B. I was getting a 5 in English, a 5 in maths, and a 4 in Spanish, so I need to get that up quite a bit. So my end of when I started applying to colleges, my school gave out UPGs, like university predicted grades. So in year 13, my university predicted grades were, again, I take higher level economics, geography, and physics. So my economics was a 6, my geography was still a 5, which is bullshit because I was getting 7s in all my tests and my IA, but it's fine. My physics was a 6 as well. And my standard level subjects, English, maths, and Spanish, I was getting a 6 in English, a 5 in maths, and a 5 in Spanish. So that brought my total UPG to a 33. And then when you add core points, that's a 35 out of 45, which honestly I'm pretty happy with. So I applied to 11 schools. And basically my school only lets you apply to 8, but they count all the UC schools as 1. And the only reason they let you apply to 8 schools is because they don't want to put that stress on you to submit more than 8 essays. So a few of the schools for me didn't require any essays, like the Canadian ones, many of them didn't require any essays. It was just filling out a form and submitting the application, just pressing a button, paying the fee. So I will just read out the universities I applied to in the order of the choice that I want to go to them. So like the first one I'll read out is the one I wanted to go to most, and the last one is the one I didn't want to go to as much. So my first choice school was UBC, closely followed by U of Toronto, my second choice school. Third was University of Texas at Austin, in Texas, Austin. My fourth one was McGill University because my mom went there. And I thought it would be a great school to go to, but I wasn't that excited because I didn't like the campus as much. So it was like high up on my list if I got in, but I wasn't that keen to apply, if you know what I mean. Okay. My fifth choice was University of Washington. My sixth choice was Queens, University of Queens. My seventh choice was University of Waterloo. My eighth choice was University of Western Ontario. And my ninth choice was UC Santa Barbara. 10th was UC San Diego. And 11th was UC Irvine. So about five of them are US, 6 of them are Canada. So the Canadian ones were UBC, U of Toronto, Western Ontario, Queens, McGill, and Waterloo. So that's my 6 Canadian ones, and my 5 American ones were Washington, Santa Barbara, San Diego, Irvine, Texas, and Austin. So this is the order that I got my decisions in. Part 3, order I got my decisions in. Part 3, I'm just going to read out my decisions and also the ranking of the school, because I know a lot of people want to know rankings, so I'll just pull them up here. So I'm using the QS World University Rankings 2019 for reference. I'm going to do this in the order of the school that I got the decision from, so the first to the last decision. I'll put up the name of the university, the ranking of the university, the order of choice, so whether my first, second, or third choice, the order that the decisions came out, and the reason or the condition of my acceptance or rejection. So the first school I got a decision from was McGill, and it was my fourth choice school, and I got rejected. I was fine because I kind of only applied there because my mom went, so it would be like a nice thing to go if my mom went, but it wasn't really like on the top of my list. And the reason I was rejected was because the academic standard was not met. And just for reference, the ranking of McGill University is 33 in the world. The next decision I got was Queen's University, and I was accepted. The condition was that I had to get 28 subject points, which means 5 lower than what I was predicted, which seemed pretty attainable for me, so I was fine with that. So the next decision I got was from Waterloo, and it was my 7th choice school, and I was accepted. What they required was a 27 overall, so that's only 25 subject points basically, or 26 subject points, which was pretty easy for me, honestly, and a 4 in English, so they gave me a 1,000 Canadian scholarship if I went to their school. So Waterloo's ranking, if you would like to know, is 163 in the world. Waterloo was actually really cute. They kept sending me letters. One of them was handwritten, and it talked exactly about my application, like, we really like this part of the application, signed by a person, really asking me to come. I thought it was a really cute school, and they also have a really good co-op program, meaning you can do your degree in 5 years instead of 4, and you can work for a year. So it gives you work experience within your career, and the work experience is paid, and you can make enough to pay off the whole extra year of tuition, so it's a really good option for anyone, honestly. So yeah, I got into Waterloo. The next one is University of Western Ontario. It was my 8th choice school, and I was also accepted. So I had to get a 29 overall, inclusive of subject points, with none of my subjects less than 4. I also got some scholarship info, and I wasn't really sure what any of it meant, so there's a name of the scholarship. I can include like a screenshot right here. The name of the scholarship, the value of the scholarship, and like the admission average that is required. So yeah, I got quite a big scholarship from them, I think. Not full ride, obviously, but like, it was a decent amount. So the next decision I got was from UBC. It was my first choice school, and I got accepted! Yay! So their conditions were that I can't drop below 6 points for my UPG. So if my UPG was 35, I couldn't drop below a 29. And you cannot get you have to get a minimum of a 4 in math and English. So UBC is ranked 47 in the world. The next decision I got was University of Toronto. It was my 2nd choice school, and I got accepted! So their University of Toronto didn't really have any conditions. It just said pass the IB and maintain your current academic standing, which I think kind of would mean you can't drop below 6 points. Just basically don't fail the IB and don't become stupid. So University of Toronto is actually the best school I got into. It's ranked 28 in the world. It's the best school I applied to and the best school I got into. So I was quite proud of myself for that one. Next one I got a decision from was UT Austin. And it was my 3rd choice school, and I also got accepted. The University of Texas at Austin is 63 in the world. It said the same thing as University of Toronto, to maintain my current academic standing and pass the IB. So that was also a good option for me. The next one I got a decision from was University of Washington. It was my 5th choice school, and I got accepted as well. And there were actually no conditions given. It didn't say you have to pass the IB. It didn't say to maintain current academic standing. It was practically an unconditional offer, which was a really good option for me. I literally could just sit back, party every single day, and I would still be able to go to University of Washington. And just for reference, University of Washington is 66 in the world, really not bad. So the third from last school I got a decision from, the 9th school. It was also, not surprisingly, 9th on my choice list, was UC Santa Barbara, and I got rejected from UC Santa Barbara. They didn't give me any reason, just said we had a large pool of applicants, sorry, we could not offer you admission at this time. And UC Santa Barbara is 132 in the world, so kind of nowhere near the ones I was applying to. Most of them were above 100. The next one I applied to was UC San Diego. It was the 10th on my list and the 10th decision I got. I was also rejected from UC San Diego with no other reason given other than large applicant pool could not offer you admission at this time. And San Diego is ranked 41 in the world, which really isn't bad. That's a good school. But honestly, I wasn't disappointed with these rejections because I applied to basically 3 kind of reach schools in Canada, which was McGill, Toronto, and UBC, and 3 safeties in Canada. So I knew that if I didn't get into any of the 3 top ones, that I would get into the 3 safeties, and I would most probably go there. If I didn't go to those 3, I would probably go to UT Austin or UW if I got in. And if nothing with those schools ever, like if I got rejected from all of them, then it was the UCs that was kind of like my fallback plan. But I really didn't need them. I had like this fantasy about going to California for school, so I really wanted to apply just to see. My final decision that I got it about like a week ago, was from UC Irvine, and that was my 11th choice and my 11th decision, and I got accepted. So the only condition was to pass IB, and that's it. Overall, I was really happy with all of my acceptances and rejections. So I applied to 11 schools, and I got into 8 out of 11. And the 3 that I didn't get into weren't really the ones that I was looking to go to. So I got into all of my top choices, most of my reach schools. It was a really good day for me. I bet you're all wondering which one I'm deciding to go to. I've already submitted my, I've already decided which one I'm going to, submitted everything, applied for residence. So take your guesses now, leave them in the comments. I'll give you like 10 seconds. So, I'm going to University of Toronto! Woo! So I know I said in the video that UBC was my first choice school and U of Toronto was my second, and I got into both of them. However, my parents don't want Nina and I going to the same university, and honestly neither did I. And in our minds, it was that Nina was going to UBC no matter what, because she got in as well. So it was Nina was going to UBC no matter what. It was whether I wanted to join her, and I didn't want to go to the same school. She hasn't gotten into University of Toronto yet, so I thought University of Toronto is a great school. I really like the campus. It will probably set me up really well for the future. It's just a great overall school. I really loved it. So I might as well just go to Toronto. So I'm very excited, like so excited. I've been like researching like where I'm going to live and then everything that's around it and everything I can do there. And I'm so excited, and like all the parties and stuff, so excited. So yeah, I'm so happy with all my decisions. I had a really good college experience so far, like applying and everything. So as I said, I can make extra videos on the essays that I wrote, my extracurriculars, and I can make vlogs in U of Toronto, and I'm very excited. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you out if you're applying to colleges, and yeah.